actor who really brought, realness to television, playing a great character, playing a great son on The Cosby Show.
When the world heard about Malcolm-Jamal Warner's sudden death, shockwaves ripped through Hollywood. What looked like a tragic loss at first has now spiraled into one of the wildest, most spine-chilling conspiracies the entertainment industry has ever seen. It all started as quiet chatter. Then the rumors started flying. But things exploded when Ice Cube stepped into the spotlight, dropping claims so intense they've shaken Black Hollywood from top to bottom. Malcolm, who stole hearts as Theo Huxtable, is now tangled in a disturbing story that throws serious shade, not just at the industry, but directly at Bill Cosby, the very man who helped launch his career. According to Ice Cube, this wasn't some random drowning. He's saying it was a calculated move to silence Malcolm before he could expose the truth. And Cube's not just talking wild. He's bringing real heat with leaked convos, behind-the-scenes whispers, creepy stories, and even word-of-video proof. In this jaw-dropping twist, Cube claims Malcolm was putting together a tell-all memoir, something that would have cracked the lid off decades of hidden secrets. Not only would it have dived into Cosby's now infamous double life, but it would have exposed a whole system of cover-ups, manipulation, and powerful people working to keep things buried. Word is, Malcolm had documents, emails, recordings, and even a list of execs who allegedly helped hide Cosby's dark behavior for years. And get this, Malcolm's own mother reportedly believes her son's death was no accident. She's out here saying he was taken out just as he was about to break his silence.
Right now, it's a moment of extreme gratitude. There are people showing up for me in a way that makes me a little emotional. And I don't need to talk about, what the thing is, but people are showing up for me. And not that I should be surprised, because these particular people would be people who would show up for me, because that's just the kind of people they are. But it still doesn't negate the gratitude, whatever emotions it brings up, being touched in my heart and my soul. It's just really cool. And it makes me think about, maybe wants me to share, be a good person, right? Be good to others. Be of service. Do good for other people.
Ice Cube even describes Malcolm's final days as filled with tension, paranoia, and signs that something wasn't right. Late-night phone calls, whispered fears, and Malcolm sounding shook. He told Ice Cube he felt like he was being watched, followed, maybe even threatened. He allegedly told Cube, "They're trying to shut me up." And now, those words hit way harder, because not long after, Malcolm was gone, just like that. But here's the real kicker. After his death, the media went silent. No major investigation, no public autopsy, no press conferences from the family, no detailed coverage, just quiet, way too quiet. Ice Cube wasn't buying it, and neither are the fans. Hashtags like #Justice for Malcolm and #Cube told the truth are all over the internet now. According to Cube, Cosby wasn't just a sitcom legend or a comedian with clout. He was a straight-up puppet master behind the scenes. Ice Cube paints him as a shadow king, someone who smiled for the cameras but allegedly moved like a boss in the dark, controlling narratives, wiping out evidence, and shutting down anyone who stepped out of line. Once Malcolm started pulling away from Cosby, turning down sketchy offers, canceling weird meetings, and staying distant, things got tense. Suddenly he was blacklisted, iced out, and reportedly scared for his life. Word started getting around that Malcolm was cooking up a documentary and memoir that would blast open not just Cosby's secrets, but expose Hollywood's racial politics, shady systems, and the hidden power players calling shots from the shadows. Sources even say a Hollywood fixer, someone with ties to both corporate elites and the darker side of the industry, might have been called in to shut him up for good. Sounds like something straight out of a thriller, right? But when you look at the strange way everything went down, it starts to feel way too real. People close to Malcolm say he became super reclusive in his final months, scared to talk on the phone, side-eyeing even his tightest circle. And the part that really stunned fans? Bill Cosby, the man who played his TV dad for years, didn't say a single word after Malcolm's death. No tribute, no social media post, nothing, just straight up radio silence. And like Ice Cube said, that silence It screams louder than any statement ever could. In a leaked interview, Cube dropped a bomb. He believes Malcolm was handled before he had the chance to go public. He even claims there's a video recording, a phone call between someone in Cosby's inner circle talking about Malcolm like a problem that needed to be taken care of before he exposed everything. That tape hasn't leaked yet, but if it ever does, this whole story could explode. Meanwhile, Ice Cube's been catching heat himself. Weird cars posted up near his house, creepy emails warning him to drop the topic, even vague threats. But Cube ain't folding. Word is he's been quietly stacking evidence for a documentary that'll dig deep into what really happened. Not just a tragic accident, but a full-blown cover-up with serious consequences that go way beyond just one actor.
Jeff, how are you feeling about it?
Great. I'm happy we got through it. Like for 5 years, I want a series. And you never think it's gonna hit number one. I mean, we soared straight to the top, and to be number one consistently, to be in the top 5 consistently, that's great. And I'm glad we got through the first year.
How long do you hope this goes on?
For a long time. Until the audience stops laughing. And with Bill Cosby, I doubt they ever stop laughing.
What about for you? What has he taught you?
Oh, wow. There's nothing I can say specifically. There are things that he's helped me with, throughout the whole year. If it has something to do with the script, if I have personal problems or whatever, it's variations of things. And I'm very grateful.
And what about this party? Seems like a pretty good celebration.
Yes, we're celebrating for another year.
Get this, Malcolm was reportedly working with certain nonprofits, but according to Cube sources, these weren't just any charities. Some of them may have been moving hush money and helping protect big names from scandal by cleaning up their public image. And here's the wildest part. Insiders say Cosby, desperate to protect what was left of his legacy, saw Malcolm as a real threat. After everything Cosby's been through, another bombshell, especially from someone as respected as Malcolm, could have been the final blow. And that's why, according to these sources, they decided Malcolm had to go. Ice Cube hasn't dropped all his receipts yet, but the cryptic hints, the pressure he's facing, and how quiet the media's been, it all points to something way bigger brewing. If even half of what Ice Cube is saying turns out to be real, it could completely wreck Cosby's legacy and shine a harsh light on a much deeper mess in Hollywood. We're talking about a web of corruption tied to race, power, and serious money moves. This isn't just about one tragic death, it's about a whole system built to protect the powerful and silence the ones who dare to speak out. The mainstream media might be keeping quiet, but Ice Cube, who's built a name off keeping it real, isn't backing down. He's made it loud and clear. He will not be silenced. And the more you look into Malcolm's final days, the more you start to see strange patterns. It's making people everywhere start to question what really went down. This ain't just sounding like a theory anymore. It's starting to feel like cold, hard truth. For many, it's hitting hard that America's beloved TV dad might have been guarding a legacy built not on love and laughs, but on secrets, fear, and control. And now that Ice Cube has cracked things wide open, there might be no turning back. As Cube's voice grows louder, more people connected to Malcolm are starting to come forward. And what they're sharing is disturbing, heartbreaking, and straight-up eye-opening. Malcolm's mother, Pamela Warner, stayed quiet at first, but now sources close to the family say she's convinced her son's death wasn't just some tragic accident. In private talks, she's reportedly opened up about how Malcolm had grown paranoid in the months before he passed, telling her he felt like he was being watched and even believed someone was tracking his phone and computer. Friends say he stopped going to his usual spots, started switching up cars, and even canceled events last minute, like he knew something was coming. That paranoia Malcolm felt, it didn't come out of nowhere. It was rooted in something very real, and many now believe that something was his bold plan to drop a memoir that would have shattered the polished image of some of the most powerful men in the entertainment world. And no, it wasn't just Cosby he was about to call out. Insiders say the book had grown to over 300 pages and was packed with bombshells, deep secrets about exploitation, racism, and shady deals that were never meant to see daylight. Malcolm wasn't just writing from memory. He had years' worth of personal journals, broken NDAs, and even testimonies from others who were too scared to speak publicly. The project was reportedly called Hiding in Plain View, a name that hit hard, pointing out how these dirty truths were right in front of us the whole time, hidden behind fame and fake smiles. Malcolm's wife, whose identity had been kept private throughout his life, was said to be well aware of the danger. She had reportedly begged him not to release the book without locking down legal protection first. She feared that once he stepped out as a whistleblower, he'd become a target and there'd be no way back. One report claims Malcolm told her, "If something happens to me, they'll say it was an accident." Don't believe it. That one line now sends chills through everyone who knew him. And as people continue to mourn, more sketchy details about his death are bubbling up. The official story says he drowned in Costa Rica, caught in a riptide. But several witnesses say they saw Malcolm arguing with a man on the beach just hours before he went into the water. No police record confirms the argument, no suspect's been named, nothing. But when you piece it all together, something just doesn't add up. But here's where it gets real disturbing. Malcolm's body was cremated within 24 hours of being found, and reportedly, neither his mother nor his wife gave permission for it. That move had people stunned and furious. Now, many believe key evidence could have been destroyed forever, and what's even weirder, that explosive memoir, Hiding in Plain View, the one everyone close to him swears was real, has completely vanished. It wasn't found in his belongings. His laptop, gone. When his personal items were sent back to the family, that computer was mysteriously missing. Emails to his publisher, no replies, backup drives. He was known to keep them locked up in a safe deposit box. Those suddenly became inaccessible. It's like the entire project was erased off the face of the earth. Yet people around him are adamant it was real. They'd read parts of it, talked about it with him, even seen drafts. One anonymous source dropped a chilling detail. The book allegedly opened with the line, "If you are reading this, then I didn't make it to the end." That's enough to make your blood run cold. As the mystery thickens, Ice Cube's not letting up. On a recent podcast, he revealed that Malcolm had reached out to him personally for help getting a documentary version of the story out to the public. Malcolm reportedly said, "They'll never let it air on cable. We have to do this ourselves." So the plan was to bypass traditional media altogether, go through YouTube, underground screenings, and word of mouth. It was going to be a grassroots bombshell that couldn't be censored. Now that footage, if it still exists, is considered the holy grail of this whole investigation. Cube's even hired a private cybersecurity team to track down any digital footprints Malcolm might have left behind. He's going all in to uncover the truth. And Cube's not alone anymore. Other celebs are starting to break their silence too. Jaleel White. Yep, Steve Urkel himself posted a cryptic message right after Warner's death. Not everything you are told is the whole truth. People are listening, and questions are growing louder by the day. Sometimes the version of the story that gets told is just the one that's easiest to clean up. That cryptic post from Jaleel White, it was deleted within minutes, but not before screenshots went viral across the internet. And he's not the only one hinting at something deeper. Stars like Debbie Allen and Tempest Bledsoe have also dropped subtle clues about behind-the-scenes pressure to stay quiet. No direct accusations, but you can feel the weight behind their silence. Why aren't more people speaking out? Insiders say it's fear, plain and simple. Fear of lawsuits, fear of losing deals, fear of being blacklisted. But behind closed doors, that silence is cracking. More and more folks are starting to admit they don't believe Malcolm's death was an accident either. One of the heaviest revelations came from an unnamed executive who worked with Malcolm on a Netflix project. He says Malcolm once told him, "There are powerful men who will do anything to stay in control. If I go down, at least I'm telling the truth." That quote has since been picked up by blogs, independent journalists, and it's only adding more fuel to this growing fire. Right now, the truth is buried under layers of silence, secrets, and fear. But Malcolm's people, his mom, his wife, his friends, and Ice Cube aren't letting it go. They're connecting the dots, chasing every clue Malcolm left behind, and getting ready to pull the curtain back on whatever darkness may have been involved in his final days. The official story still hasn't changed, but if even part of what's being alleged turns out to be real, then this isn't just about the loss of a beloved actor. It's about losing a man who was ready to risk everything to speak the truth. And if that truth scared the wrong people, they might have made a fatal mistake because his legacy isn't going quiet. As this chapter closes, one thing's crystal clear. This story is far from over. Malcolm-Jamal Warner's death is no longer just a personal loss. It's turning into a symbol. Especially in Black Hollywood, where speaking out has always come with a dangerous price. People closest to Malcolm believe he wasn't just working on a memoir. He was building a movement, something real, something meant to uplift young Black creatives, and finally call out the long-standing exploitation so many have suffered in silence. And now, it's that silence that's screaming the loudest. Ice Cube keeps pushing for answers, and more people are standing up, demanding justice. What's got everyone talking again? A deleted podcast episode, Malcolm's last one, suddenly resurfaced. It was recorded just 48 hours before his death. The episode, titled "When They Won't Let You Speak," was mysteriously removed from all platforms with zero explanation. But now it's leaked thanks to anonymous sources, and it's sending chills down spines everywhere. Malcolm's voice in the episode is slow, heavy, like he knew the end was near. He sounds worn out, reflective, almost like he was leaving behind a message. He talks about betrayal, about losing trust, and about being exhausted. Tired of being polite, tired of waiting, tired of pretending everything is okay. And then he drops a line that hits like a brick. There comes a point where staying quiet becomes more dangerous than speaking out. I'm there now. That line alone has sparked even more suspicion. The episode's only 27 minutes long, but it's packed. Malcolm makes subtle references to unseen forces and nameless figures running things behind the scenes, a system that, according to him, doesn't care about talent. You think it's about talent, he says, but it's about compliance. You're either part of the illusion or you're out. Those words are blowing up online, repeated across social media, and echoed by independent outlets digging into the story. Fans who once saw Malcolm as the quiet, grounded artist, someone who stayed out of drama, never chased fame, never sold out, they're now starting to understand. He wasn't just protecting his reputation, he was protecting something way bigger. In those final recordings, Malcolm wasn't just telling his truth, he was protecting himself. He even spoke about his daughter, saying he didn't care about leaving behind fame or money. He wanted to leave her the truth. My story won't be easy to hear, he said, but it's mine, and I won't let them rewrite it. That line is now become a battle cry in the industry. A quiet resistance is rising. Young actors, writers, and creatives are reposting Malcolm's quotes with captions like, "We hear you, and your voice lives on." Independent filmmakers have even started developing projects inspired by Malcolm's life and message, trying to carry the torch and finish what he started. But behind all this momentum, there's a heavy tension growing, because as the movement spreads, so does the pushback. Just weeks after Ice Cube went public with his claims, several indie bloggers who dared to cover the story said they were threatened. Some had their social media flagged or mysteriously restricted. One even said they were visited by men claiming to be from a media licensing firm, but the visit quickly turned into straight-up intimidation. It's becoming clearer by the day. There are powerful forces that do not want this story told. And yet, the truth keeps finding a way to surface. In a recent twist, a tech associate who once worked with Malcolm claims the memoir might not be gone for good. They say encrypted backups of the manuscript could still be floating in cloud storage, but getting to them would take legal moves and serious time. On top of that, a former assistant says Malcolm left behind a handwritten journal, locked in a box at his old recording studio. Inside, possible outlines, chapter notes, dates, and names. But that box, it's reportedly been sealed as part of a private investigation that's still underway. What happens next could change everything, depending on how much of Malcolm's work makes it into the light. In the meantime, fans are digging deep into his past, revisiting his interviews, his old projects, and his words, searching for clues and meaning in a story that just won't go away. People are starting to look back at Malcolm's work and realizing he'd been dropping hints all along. From the poetry in Hiding in Plain View to his powerful spoken word performances, Malcolm had been tackling deep issues for years. Systemic racism, mental health, survival. He was trying to wake people up. But most didn't start listening until after he was gone. Now critics are asking the tough question, why have the major media outlets stayed so quiet? Aside from a few polite obituaries, there's been barely any coverage of Ice Cube's accusations or the strange events surrounding Malcolm's death. And some say that silence isn't just coincidence, it's protection. Protection for the same system Malcolm was trying to expose. A system built on image control, secrets, and keeping certain stories buried. Others say Malcolm's clean image might be why the media didn't latch on. He wasn't a tabloid magnet. No scandals, no drama. That made him less profitable in today's headline-hungry world. But people who knew him say that's exactly how he wanted it. Malcolm never played the fame game. He was playing the long game. And now, with his death, his legacy is shouting louder than ever. Behind the scenes, some of Hollywood's veterans are holding quiet meetings. They're talking about launching a full independent investigation, one that doesn't rely on law enforcement or official channels. They believe only an outside team, private investigators, and legal pros can really get to the bottom of what happened. Ice Cube is reportedly ready to put money behind it. He's not alone either. Anonymous donors from inside the industry are stepping up too. And in a rare public moment, Malcolm's mother broke her silence through a family rep. She said Malcolm lived with purpose and left with unfinished business. That one line says it all. This story isn't over, not even close. We're not letting that unfinished business get buried. Malcolm's mother's words hit deep, and they've echoed across generations. Fans who grew up watching him as Theo Huxtable are now seeing him in a whole new light, not just as a TV star, but as a fighter, a truth teller, a man who refused to stay silent, even when the risks were high. And so the fight continues. What was once seen as the end of Malcolm-Jamal Warner's story is now being rewritten by the people he inspired. His final podcast, The Missing Memoir, The Whispers of Secrets Too Risky to Name. This isn't just history anymore. It's a puzzle, and thousands of us are out here trying to piece it together. Whether the full truth comes out tomorrow, next year, or 10 years down the line, one thing's clear. Malcolm's voice didn't disappear. In fact, it's louder now than it's ever been. He didn't just talk about survival. He lived it as a form of resistance, as a form of excellence. And in this final chapter, it looks like he may have sparked the very revolution he always believed was possible. If they thought erasing him would end the story, they seriously miscalculated, because this isn't the end of Malcolm-Jamal Warner's legacy. It's just the beginning. If you felt this, if you believe there's more to the story, don't let it die here. Hit that like button, subscribe for more deep dives, drop a comment with your thoughts, and share this video with someone who needs to hear it. We'll see you in the next one. Stay sharp, stay loud.